Did you know that somewhere in the world tonight, an abandoned house will materialize out of thin air, and anyone brave enough to enter might never come back out? This isn't just another ghost story. This is about the wandering manor, a phenomenon that's been documented across continents for over 2 centuries, and the terrifying reality of what happens when the living accidentally stumble into a doorway between worlds. Picture this. You're driving home late at night, maybe from work or a friend's place. The road ahead is familiar, one you've traveled countless times. But suddenly there it is. A house that wasn't there yesterday, wasn't there this morning, standing like it's been there forever. The paint is peeling. The windows are dark and something about it makes your skin crawl. Yet you can't look away. This is exactly what happened to Maria Santos in rural Portugal last October. She was cycling home when she spotted what appeared to be a Victorian mansion sitting in the middle of an empty field. The same field where she'd played as a child, where nothing had ever stood except wild grass and olive trees. Maria made a choice that would haunt her forever. She went inside. The phenomenon has been reported everywhere from the Scottish Highlands to the Australian outback. Witnesses describe the same decaying structure appearing without warning, always in different locations, always carrying the same ominous presence. Local authorities consistently find no records of construction permits, no property deeds, no logical explanation for how a 3-story house could simply appear overnight. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. The house doesn't just appear randomly. It seems to target specific individuals, manifesting in locations where lonely travelers or curious souls are most likely to encounter it. Research into historical accounts suggests the house has been doing this for generations, claiming victims across different eras, different countries, different cultures. What makes someone enter such an obviously dangerous place? Psychologists studying the phenomenon believe the house itself exerts a form of supernatural magnetism. Survivors describe feeling an overwhelming compulsion to explore, as if their own free will temporarily disappeared. The structure seems to prey on human curiosity, using it as a weapon against those who encounter it. Inside, the house defies every law of physics and logic. Rooms that should be impossible exist in spaces too small to contain them. Staircases lead to floors that shouldn't exist. And the temperature drops so dramatically that visitors can see their breath, even on the warmest nights. The walls themselves seem alive, pulsing with an energy that makes electronic devices malfunction and compasses spin wildly. The entities within are unlike anything from traditional ghost stories. Witnesses describe shadow figures that move independently of any light source, their forms constantly shifting between human and something far more sinister. These beings don't just haunt the house, they seem to guard it, protecting secrets that span centuries of supernatural activity. Most disturbing are the gateways. Multiple survivors have reported discovering doorways within the house that don't lead to other rooms but to places that exist beyond our reality. Through these portals, visitors glimpse landscapes of perpetual twilight, hear voices of people who died decades ago, and witness scenes that suggest the house serves as some kind of supernatural crossroads. The artifacts found within tell stories of previous visitors who weren't lucky enough to escape. Personal belongings from different time periods, journals with entries that end mid-sentence, and photographs of families that smile with eyes that seem to follow you around the room. Each item represents someone who entered the house and never returned to tell their tale. Getting out alive requires more than just retracing your steps. The house actively works against escape attempts. Doors that were open suddenly lock. Hallways extend impossibly long. Rooms rearrange themselves when you're not looking. The entities become more aggressive as visitors attempt to leave, as if the house feeds off the fear and desperation of those trying to escape. Maria Santos managed to survive her encounter, but only after spending 3 terrifying hours inside. She describes the experience as a battle against the house itself, requiring her to ignore her senses and trust pure instinct. The key, she claims, was refusing to engage with the entities and focusing solely on finding the original entrance, no matter how the house tried to confuse her. The most chilling aspect is that the house remembers. Survivors report that once you've been inside, you become permanently connected to it. They experience vivid nightmares of returning, feel watched in their daily lives, and sometimes wake up with dirt under their fingernails that matches soil from around the house, despite never having left their beds. Tonight, somewhere in the world, the wandering manor will appear again. It might be in your neighborhood, your city, or the road you take home from work. If you see it, if you feel that inexplicable urge to explore, remember Maria's story. Remember that some doors are meant to stay closed and some houses are meant to remain empty. The question isn't whether you'll encounter the wandering manor. The question is whether you'll be strong enough to walk away when you do. Because in a world where the supernatural actively hunts the living, sometimes the smartest thing you can do is simply keep driving and never look back.